And welcome, sports fans, to today's Sports Roundtable. Glad you joined us right here on YHCtv, channel 21, and online YHCtv.com. Even bringing you a Facebook Live and a Periscope broadcast for today's broadcast. And a lot to get to today. We've got a recap of plenty of high school baseball and softball results from Friday, well into the spring action now as winter sports season has wrapped up. We're going to give you those state champions in high school basketball that took place over the last couple weekends as we've transitioned from the winter season out of the spring sports season. A little tough out the gate as we've had quite a bit of rain here in the last week or so and interrupting those games out there. But plenty took place yesterday, which we'll get to here in a moment. Also got a lot more to show you for today as we got a full show. March Madness is in full swing in college basketball. As you've probably seen, that finished last night with Wisconsin and Florida in the regional semifinal. We'll bring that to you here momentarily. And also we've got Tyler Hansbrough highlights. He's back in the news and playing in the NBA Development League and been playing well. We're going to have some highlights of Friday's game that he played in, and we'll have that a little bit later as well. Also big news in football, big hiring that took place in high school football this week. We'll also get to that. So quite a bit in today's show, including not only the spring sports, but other big news in the other sports seasons as well in high school athletics. And first, let's go ahead and start off with some games that took place yesterday in high school baseball. Taking a look at those scores. Kennett defeating Dexter in high school baseball in a rout 14-1. In that matchup, also, we've got Holcomb over Neelyville. Holcomb defeated Neelyville 12-3 in that contest. And also, New Madrid County Central over Caruthersville 13-12 in a slugfest between those two. And also, we have Bernie over Portageville in a close one, 3-2. That took place in Bernie yesterday afternoon. And we have Union over Notre Dame by a score of 2-1. Also, Notre Dame took on St. Francis Borgia, and they defeated Borgia 4-1 in that doubleheader matchup for Notre Dame. Saxony Lutheran over Meridian of Illinois in a rout 12-2. Leopold over Delta by a score of 7-1. Charleston over Meadow Heights 7-2. Oran over Bloomfield 13-3. Oran getting a big win, one of the top teams in the state, which we'll get to some state rankings, which Oran's in here in a few moments. Also, Chaffee over Jefferson of Festus 8-6. Chaffee also a pretty good team in those state rankings. Jackson over Sykeston in the CMO Conference 13-4. And with South Pemiscot over Gosnell of Arkansas, 13-6. East Prairie over Kelly, 8-2. Van Buren over Couch, 15-0. Shutout victory for Van Buren over Couch. Clearwater over Puxico in a rout, 22-3. Also, in softball, we got softball results from yesterday as well. Campbell over Holcomb, 17-4. Clearwater over Puxico at 9-6. Delta over Bloomfield, 8-4. Naylor over East Carter County, 14-9 out there in the Ozark Foothills Conference. Seamuth Hornersville over Gideon, 18-8. And also we have Scott City over Charleston, big 16-1. No problem for Scott City in that matchup. And in soccer results from Friday, we've got Perryville over Cape Central in a close one, 3-2. St. Vincent over Poplar Bluff, 2-1. Jackson over Saxony Lutheran, 5-0. And Notre Dame over Sykeston, 3-1. And those are the results from Friday. Quite a few results from the area in the spring sports matchups, and we'll be bringing those each Saturday right here on the Sports Roundtable each Saturday on the weekend. And take a look at some state rankings. Let's take a look at some state rankings in high school baseball. Take a look at high school baseball state rankings. And leading off with Class 1, these are the preseason state rankings, so these don't reflect any games that's taking place this year. Bell City at number 1. Coming back with the really strong team this year, again in Bell City. 2, Northwest Hughesville. 3, Silex. 4, the Oran Eagles. 5, St. Elizabeth. 6, Bramer. 7, Green City. 8, Cooter. 9, Hurley, and 10, Max Creek. So 3 teams in Southeast Missouri there in the top 10 in Class 1. Bell City, Oran, and Cooter. Bell City and Oran, state champions just from a few years ago in those 2 schools. And also Cooter always there in the mix in Class 1 there down south. And in Class 2, Valley Catholic up in St. Genevieve at number 1. I believe they are defending state champions. They're at number 1. 2, Canton. 3, Plato. 4, Lincoln. 5, Vienna. 6, Mansfield. 7, Crane. 8, Sturgeon. 9, Chaffee. The Chaffee Red Devils. They're at number 9 from Southeast Missouri. And 10, Scotland County. And in Class 3, South Callaway at number 1. 2, Summit Christian. 3, Scott City. The Scott City Rams there at number 3. 4, Mountain Grove. 5, Lawson. 6, Stratford. 7, Butler. 8, Cuba. 9, Caruthersville. Caruthersville there in the top 10 at number 9 in Class 3. And 10, Bowling Green. And for Class 4, Aurora at number 1. 2, Country Day. 3, Boonville. 4, Fulton. 5, Jeff City Helias. 6, North County. 7, Lutheran South. 8, Smithville. 9, Carl Junction. And 10, two-way tie with Notre Dame and Westminster Academy. So a couple Southeast Missouri teams there. Notre Dame up at Cape Girardeau. Also got North County just up the way in Bon Terre, up the way a bit north, the southeast region. And in Class 5, Jefferson City at number 1, 2, Lindbergh, 3, Rockwood Summit, 4, Lee Summit West, 5, Poplar Bluff. They're at number 5 in the top 10 in Class 5. 6, Ozark, 7, Francis Howell, 8, Vianney, 9, Kickapoo, and 10, Hickman. And those are your state rankings for Class 5 in Missouri. You see there, Poplar Bluff at number 5. And we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to have some local headlines from the area. Quite a bit of sports news this week in basketball and even football. And we're going to take a break and be back with those coming up.
For more than 75 years, the law firm of Crow, Reynolds, Shetley, McVeigh & Shear, LLP, has served the legal needs of Southeast Missouri. Located at 308 1st Street in Kennett, Crow, Reynolds, Shetley, McVeigh & Shear, LLP is a full-service law firm providing representation in a wide range of areas, such as personal injury, workers' compensation, family law, criminal law, probate, business, and estate planning. For all your legal needs, call Crow, Reynolds, Shetley, McVeigh & Shear, LLP at 573-888-4664.
At New Wave, we're proud to call the communities we serve our home. Our customers tell us having a local office is important to them. That's why we maintain dozens of local offices and employ over 500 skilled employees, all focused on delivering the best customer experience. We don't just connect communities, we connect to our communities, helping support the schools, organizations, and events that support all of us. Thank you for choosing New Wave Communications, your local provider of internet, TV, and phone.
And welcome back. And first, starting off with the state champions of Missouri high school basketball this year. We finished those up last weekend with the state championships. And in starting off in girls Class 1, Mercer winning the state championship. And they finished their season at a record at 31-1. Girls Class 2, Skyline finishing at 31-2. Girls Class 3, Stratford finishing at undefeated, 33-0. And in girls Class 4, Incarnate Word finishing at 28-4, and the Dexter Lady Bearcats finished third in Class 4, so certainly did the best of the Southeast Missouri teams here locally. And in girls Class 5, it was Kirkwood winning and finishing 28-3. And on the boys' side, boys Class 1, Walnut Grove defeating Advance in that state championship and winning the championship and finishing 30-3 on the year. And Advance coming up just a bit short, second place in Class 1. Boys Class 2, the Oran Eagles came out of nowhere this year, finishing 23-8 on the year, and the Class 2 state champions, the local Oran Eagles. Boys Class 3, Transportation and Law out of St. Louis, 21-10, finishing and state champions for Class 3. And Boys Class 4, Vashon at 27-3, winning the state championship, knocking off the local Sykeston Bulldogs en route to that championship in the quarterfinal round. Vashon defending winning back-to-back state champions last year and now this year at 27-3. And the boys Class 5 state champions, Webster Groves out of St. Louis, winning and finishing 29-3 on the year. And those are your state champions for this year. Now wrapping up the basketball season, but some other local basketball news. The SEMO Conference had their awards banquet this last week, and a couple of awards going out to some local talent. Fred Thatch of Sykeston was named SEMO Conference Player of the Year. No surprise there. Fred Thatch been one of the top talents in the area, pretty much the premier talent now. Now he's an upperclassman, and he's got one more year to go. He's verbally committed to St. Louis University for college. He's got one more year to go. He's been quite the talent all the way since his freshman year, and it gets better every year. And I'm sure the best is yet to come from Fred Thatch and Sykeston. And he is this year's SEMO Conference Player of the Year for the boys. And for the girls, Shaylee Mosby of Dexter was awarded the SEMO Conference Player of the Year for the girls. And great season for Shaylee Mosby, and already scoring over 1,000 points in her first 2 years of high school. She's only a sophomore, got 2 more years to go, so certainly the best is yet to come from her out of Dexter. So 2 more years remaining, a lot like Fred Thatch. Fred Thatch came on the scene as a freshman and really played well since his freshman year. Shaylee Mosby's pretty much in that same boat on the girls' side, and she's got 2 more years remaining. It's going to be fun to watch Shaylee Mosby for the Dexter Lady Bearcats the next 2 years. And some football news from this week. Kennett hired their new football coach, and they have hired Joel Wyatt as their new football coach in Kennett. And a great hire for the Kennett Indians and a loss for the Malden Green Wave. He's done a great job there at Malden, winning 3 straight district championships, including a state championship appearance a few years ago, coming away with second place in the state in Class 2. Malden's been the top small schools program in the last 3 years, and having 3 straight undefeated regular seasons, and just a great run by the Green Wave, headed by Joel Wyatt. But the vacancy left at Kennett by Aaron Pixley, who has taken the athletic director position for Dexter in the upcoming school year. Left that vacancy, and Kennett's really grown that program since Aaron's been there for the last handful of years, and they've certainly wanted to pick up where Aaron's leaving that program off, and they did a good job hiring Joel Wyatt to take over that program in Kennett. So pretty big news there, even though it's fall sports news for football. Pretty big hire is Joel Wyatt taking over the Kennett football program starting this upcoming year. So that's the way these things work. It's musical chairs. Malden now left a vacancy for its head football coach, so we'll see what happens there. They might probably be hiring in this next month for a new football coach there at Malden. And let's take a look at Tyler Hansbrough. I tell you, Tyler Hansbrough, he has signed with the Fort Wayne Mad Ants, the Fort Wayne Mad Ants of the NBA Development League, and he has really played well since joining that development league in Fort Wayne. And of course, the D-League Development League is the basically the minor leagues of the NBA. And he signed on there earlier this month, March 2nd. He signed with the Mad Ants and has been playing really well for the Mad Ants since he joined, and had some big games, 30-plus point games, 20-plus point games, even a 20-plus rebound game. I believe earlier this week he had a 18 and 23 game, 18 points and 23 rebounds in that contest. And last night, the Mad Ants had a game, and they played really well as well and got the win in that contest last night. And we got some highlights of that game from Friday night as the Mad Ants played. I'm not sure, I can't remember who they played here, but we got some highlights of the game from last night. And taking a look here, early on, Tyler Hansbrough getting the ball on the block, faces up, takes it baseline with a nice reverse layup, and early on doing quite well here, a rebound, and jams it back with the putback from Hansbrough. And here later in the game, nice dump down pass, finishes at the rim, plus the foul, and three-point opportunity there for Hansbrough. And later, getting the ball in the post, nice turnaround jumper over the defender in the post. Nice finish there from Hansbrough. We're used to seeing this back in his North Carolina days and even Poplar Bluff. Here, nice step around dribble to the basket, throwing it down. And nice drive to the basket there by Hansbrough. Here, setting the screen up top and rolling out, and knocks it down at the buzzer. Three-pointer from Hansbrough. So he's extending his range there as well, as we see here. Going to the basket, spin move off the glass. Great finish from Hansbrough, plus the foul. And here's spotting up at the post and going with a tough turnaround jumper from the post. So as you see there, Tyler Hansbrough having a great run here with the Fort Wayne Mad Ants in the Development League, and he's showed up and he's showed out for sure in these first few games. Seems like he's got to be averaging around 20 points and probably even double-digit rebounds, averaging a double-double so far there with the Mad Ants of the Development League. So we'll be keeping you updated on Tyler Hansbrough's showings in the D-League as that season goes on. It's been fun to watch him. It looks like he's back in his North Carolina days, even though it is a lesser competition, the NBA, but he certainly has looked good there with the Mad Ants so far. And we're going to take another break and be back with more. Got quite a bit more to bring to you, and we'll be back in a moment.
What is your emergency? Need assistance at County Road 61 and Highway 9. Help is on its way.
Clear! There's a better way to jumpstart your soil back to health. Apply Endzone to protect and increase nitrogen efficiency without killing bacteria. Apply Prevent to increase phosphorus availability and reduce fixation. Better yet, use them both to get more from your fertilizer investment and see higher potential yields. Ag Explorer, your prescription for healthy soil.
For the best one-stop grocery and gas stop, it's Bill's Market in Buxico. They've got a full-service deli as well as a great selection of meats, including ribeyes, T-bones, pork steaks, chicken, ham, sausage, and hamburger meat. Bill's Market is well known for their meats, and they'll keep you coming back. They carry fresh fruit and vegetables and your everyday grocery needs, such as snacks, sodas, and a deep frozen section, where the staff is friendly and you'll always see a friendly face. That's Bill's Market on Highway 51 in Buxico.
And welcome back, and taking a look at a recap of the the Sweet 16 games, and what a finish last night between Florida and Wisconsin. Couldn't believe the finish in that one last night. If you didn't get to catch that, we're going to bring the end to you here in a moment. But a great game in Madison Square Garden of all venues, the most famous venue of them all, most famous arena in the world, the Madison Square Garden in New York. A great place to host a regional final. Sweet 16 and Elite 8 games, and a great one last night between Florida and Wisconsin. Just to bring you the ending here, Great game all the way down to the end. Wisconsin was down 3 at the end of regulation. Needed a 3 just to tie the game as we bring it to you here. At the end, Showalter gets the 3, running 3 at the buzzer at the end of regulation. As you see there, he just went off one foot. Actually had a bad foot. I bet you the left foot was bad. Aaron Rodgers in the audience gives him the discount double check championship there. And here we see Barry making a nice block. And here, as you see there, the finish to win the game in overtime. They're down 2, got the 3 off right at the buzzer, and a nice finish as the Gators pull out the win in dramatic fashion. A buzzer beater runner, just like Showalter did. As you can't ask for a better finish than that. The Florida Gators and the Wisconsin Badgers, 2 buzzer beaters, one to send it into overtime, and another one to win the game in the end at Madison Square Garden. So Wisconsin advances, and a great finish there between those teams last night. Also, take a look at some other games from last night. UCLA fell to Kentucky. Kentucky, the 2nd seed. UCLA, the 3rd seed. And take a look at that score from last night. Not pulling it up here, but nonetheless, big win last night for Kentucky as they will advance on to take on North Carolina in the Elite Eight. So bringing those Elite Eight games to you that are taking place this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. First starting off with tonight's games on Saturday. Tonight's games in the West Regional Final. Top-seeded Gonzaga will take on 11th-seeded Xavier. Big game here between these two teams. 6:09 on TBS here on Saturday, and a big game for both of these schools. Whoever wins will have its first appearance ever in school history in the Final Four. Xavier's kind of having that Cinderella run. They've defeated 3rd-seeded Florida State and had another upset the other night over, golly, who was that over? That was over Arizona. Arizona in the regional semifinals. So Xavier, kind of this year's Cinderella, or trying to be, and could pull off another upset against Gonzaga. So I think that'll be a good one to watch, just with the circumstances on the line for both of those schools. Also tonight at 7:49 on TBS will be top-seeded Kansas over 3rd-seeded Oregon. And that's in the Midwest region, and Kansas has been rolling through the tournament, scoring 90-plus points in every contest, and they looked really good the other night against Purdue. Probably the best backcourt in the country. When you talk about leading the way with Josh Jackson, the freshman phenom, Frank Mason, the senior point guard. Actually, they got about 3 point guards. They got basically the Graham fella and Mason are basically both point guards. Graham's a great shooter. He had a big night shooting the other night, over 25. I think he had 26 points. Mason had over 25 as well. Jackson, just a premier combo guard, and the Vic kid does a great job as well. And they basically play 4-guard offense, and they're tough to stop, especially when they're shooting the way they have been. So Oregon's really they've really struggled to get by some of these games. They've had 2 go all the way down to the end, and they'll have their work cut out for them tonight against the Kansas Jayhawks. And take a look at Sunday's games. Take a look at those in the East Regional. 4th-seeded Florida versus 7th-seeded South Carolina, and that'll be at 1:20 Sunday afternoon on CBS. And didn't really expect that matchup, Florida versus South Carolina, in that Elite Eight matchup, a 4 and 7 seed, as Villanova got knocked out in that region. Top seeds going out there, and Florida and South Carolina set to go in that matchup. South Carolina, another one of those kind of Cinderella stories, haven't ever been to a Final Four. Don't have that many. I think this is the farthest they've ever been in the tournament here in the Elite Eight. So big chances for South Carolina as well. In the South Regional Final at 4:05 on CBS Sunday, it'll be top-seeded North Carolina versus second-seeded Kentucky. Heavyweight matchup there between those two schools. Certainly looking forward to that matchup Sunday afternoon as well. And those are the Elite Eight matchups to look forward to tomorrow. As you know, it's been a great tournament. You know, there's not like any great teams. We don't really get great teams anymore, just because you know so many of the teams are freshman loaded. You know, the teams are so much younger now. That's why we don't get great teams like we've had in the past. Probably the last great team we've had, maybe looking back to those 2006 and 2007 Florida Gator teams that won back-to-back. That might have been the last great team that we've seen. Probably maybe that 2009 North Carolina team. That was probably you could probably consider that a great team. The one that Hansbrough ended up with, and they won there in 2009. We just don't get the great teams anymore because the best talent in the college ranks is pretty much at that freshman level. So, but it's been a great tournament. We've seen buzzer beaters down to the end, very competitive games, and it's actually been a really good tournament. It's been fun to watch, and hopefully the Elite Eight games will live up as well for this weekend. And that's pretty much all we got to bring to you for today, and we appreciate you for tuning in as always, and we look forward to seeing you right back with us here next Saturday for another Roundtable. And until then, wish everyone to have a great week, and we'll see you next time. Take care, everyone.